What is going on, All-Terrain Nation? Whether it be two-wheel drive,
four-wheel drive.
Does it really matter what you drive?
It doesn't.
Not anymore. This is your All-Terrain Nation podcast. I'm your host, David Boyd, alongside my beautiful co-host, Kelly Boyd. And
Hello.
I must want something, right?
I know. What do you want? What do you want to buy?
We'll get it. Well, where we're going to talk to tonight. He always has things we can go buy.
Yeah, always going to spend our money.
That's right. Always going to spend our money. But we'll bring in Allie. Allie's like finishing a bite of food, I think. I don't know what she's got going on back there. But she'll bring herself in when she's prepared. But there she is. Always sneak that last bite in.
That just reminded me of
I have to. I work until 8 o'clock on Mondays, and then after it's like half an hour home.
Do you guys see the sacrifice that Allie does?
Right?
The sacrifices. Jeez.
Moving metal and flying home to talk more metal.
All for the dang Broncos.
That's right. We got a fun one tonight. It's our once a year. It's the kickoff to Bronco season, really.
Well, we say once a year, but then we'd love to have them on again.
Well,
right
yeah.
It's usually like twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we've got Mr. Tom with Bronco Driver going to be on here in just a few minutes, and of course, Allie behind the scenes, she knows all kinds of things now. She's been helping them out with their social media and having fun doing that. And from what I saw of Colorado, I had a lot of FOMO.
Yep.
Because Allie's out there having all this fun.
It honestly, but like I know Tennessee, like I've never been to Nevada yet, so like I can't say anything on that one. But I gotta say, like, they're all so unique for their own thing, and like I almost didn't want to come home from Colorado, and now I can like see like why Tom has always kind of like told me that. But no, it's amazing. I think this year for Supercell Tennessee, it'll be a lot of fun. I think it'll be really busy.
Hey, Allie, there's a Brighton Ford in Colorado too, right?
She knows.
No, we get their calls all the time.
Yep.
It'd be an easy transition, right?
I don't know if they do the units we do though.
Well, probably not. Probably not. I know our buddies over at TFL, like they buy a lot of stuff from them. So yes, we're going to talk some Supercell. And I got one change I want to talk about before we really get going, Kelly. Over the weekend, we made some big changes, right?
Yeah, and I know we've been getting folks going, is this you? Is this legit? Is somebody clone you? Did somebody do all these things? So yeah, so if you are seeing ATN off-road in your Facebook where you've been invited to it, or if you see the YouTube channel or Instagram, that is us.
Yes.
We are definitely doing that. So this channel used to be our Nissan channel that Dave actually launched and started before I came into the picture. And
2015.
Wow.
Or 15, I think.
Yeah.
Hey,
so that's crazy.
I started in the car business.
There you go. So started over there. It was a Nissan channel, and then just kind of spin-offed, and
it just was not doing anything. Yeah.
So Nissan kind of did its thing, kind of ran its course, and then Dave decided to open All-Terrain Nation, and that's where you guys are tonight. Yep. But I told Dave, I said, hey, you've got that channel over there. He doesn't want to admit this, but a couple months ago, I told him, I was like, hey, you've got that channel over there. Why are you just letting it not sit there and do nothing? I said, we should probably do something with it. And so he came up this weekend and said, hey, you know what? This is what I did. I turned it into ATN Off-Road.
And the goal of this, obviously, ATN Off-Road. So we will only deal with off-road vehicles on that channel. We'll do product reviews. Some of the product reviews we talked about in previous shows, you will start, or no, I think we talked to our Patreons about this, but you will start seeing some product reviews on this channel just because YouTube's not cutting it right now, funding-wise. In January especially. January, February, March are bad months. Like
well, don't worry, because TikTok's being shut down. So now you're gonna have everyone jumping on YouTube.
We actually told Sydney. Sydney was talking about it last night. She's so upset that TikTok will be shut down, and she goes, "What? Where's everybody gonna go?" And Dave goes
back to YouTube.
YouTube, and she goes, "No."
Yeah.
But she's 14, so nothing's cool if mom and dad think it's cool.
That's right. But if you guys would subscribe over there, I would greatly appreciate that, because I do anticipate losing some subscribers there.
because
it was a
Nissan
Nissan.
heavy.
It was a Nissan heavy channel, and so nothing against those people because they were very good to me and they helped me get going in the industry. But times are changing, and so now we have 3 channels. The live channel also starting probably in February. These broadcasts will only be on the podcast channel. So if you want to continue to watch us here, you will have to go to ATN. I think it's ATN Podcast now. I forget what I called it. I should know my own channel name.
You probably should know your own channel.
But we're doing that just because I've said it about a year ago. I believe live shows hurt this channel for what this channel's intended for, and so we want to spread the love around.
Yeah,
and that way it gives us certain places, and you're going to see different shows. Like we've been talking with Mark and Jess a little bit about, hey, maybe you need on the off-road show, maybe you need a show on there.
Yeah.
So and it does broaden that a little bit.
So you will see similar content, just so you know. So like we're not going away or anything like that. You'll still see the stuff over here. You'll see a different or a modified version of that over there. So still the same stuff. So you're still getting great content. I mean, subjective, I guess.
On their channels, but
so you'll definitely see between the two. So just know that it's not going to be duplicated.
It's not you, it's me. It's not you, it's me.
It's not that we're putting content over here and also going to put it over there. Just so you kind of know. So that's kind of going to be an evolution of things over there. So Hypermotive Racing says, I'm just glad it's not ATM.
The money.
I mean, it could be. Just saying. Just kidding. But yeah, so definitely something to be aware of. It's not it's not a farce. It's not a clone. It's just a clone of ours.
Yep. And I will post this. Here's the link to the podcast channel. And we're going to do highlights and stuff on the main channel from each week's show. So there'll be some fun stuff. And you'll see stuff like if you like the truck podcast that we were doing, the midsize truck, stuff like that. You'll start seeing that more and more. But that's done. That's all the selling. The one last thing I'm going to sell. If
you said you were done
for the channels. So if you want to do any kind of super chats or anything tonight, what I would like you to do is gift memberships. It gives people an idea of what we do behind the scenes. I try to do special stuff for members here on YouTube. You get to see some things before, a lot of videos before even our Patreons get to see them. Patreons get more article written stuff, and that's kind of the goal of that. But if you want to do any kind of super chats tonight, we would greatly appreciate just donating memberships. That's it. That's all it does. You don't know who they go to. They're just random. And that's that, Kelly. I'm done.
You're done.
Selling.
Shh. Be quiet.
Now we got to sell somebody else, right?
Yes.
So, Allie, why don't you ring in our special guest tonight?
Sorry, I'm trying to upload this now too. So we have Tom from Bronco Driver, Bronco Driver magazine. He's the one who throws on Bronco Supercell, but he also has 2 other announcements tonight that are launching. They are on the website though. So he's doing hand motions now.
Shh.
Jeez, Allie, we're getting exclusives and you kill them.
Welcome in, Tom.
I can see they're on the website if you look.
Hi guys, how are you this night?
We're good.
Kind of chilly, man. I bet it's chilly over in your area too.
Yeah, we've had some snow over here. And, in Knoxville, when it snows, the city shuts down because there's no snow removal equipment. So school's been out Friday and Monday, and
I was about to say, y'all are cold. It's a blizzard on my way home tonight.
Lucky.
And I got a Colorado shirt on. I heard Allie talking about Colorado.
Noticed that. I'm super jealous.
All right,
I wish I was over there at 2 feet of snow.
No kidding.
Tom, you have the best shirts in the business for event shirts. I used to do events, and I always thought my shirts were pretty good. But your logos and stuff you do on your shirts are the best in the business.
And after doing this 25 years, it's harder and harder because you got to keep coming up with something new. But we work hard on it. We have a staff meeting and everybody throws in their input, so I can't take all the credit. I'll take 90%, but no. The younger generation kind of pokes me going, oh, that's out of date. That's no good. So, it's a twist. And then the old guys want the old shirts that are this thick with pockets. So, you can't win whatever you do.
Because you got to have the place for that little screwdriver. If you don't have a front pocket, where are you going to? And if you're older Bronco guys, they need a screwdriver with them probably at all times.
A 1/2-inch wrench. That fixes anything on an early Bronco.
Well, yeah. We're super excited to have you on, sir, because it is like our yearly kickoff to anything we do off-road wise. It's to talk Supercell. You have been very kind to us over the years, and we always appreciate that. And it's been an honor to see like how you do things.
Yes.
Once again, we did events, but you guys, I kill it. Like, like you take it very seriously. Like I've seen a lot of events where they just sort of they get a big crowd and then they don't take care of the people. You guys, this is your business.
Yeah.
This you take care of people. And then this isn't for you to go hang out. This is for you to create something for people. And I think that's a special thing.
Yeah, we'd like to get back to hanging out, and we may talk about that as we go further.
Oh, nice.
Sweet.
The Supercell, as Allie's been to 3 out of the 4 now, and I guess we're going to do the throwback again in September, which is just for the the 66 to 96s. But each one, like she was mentioning, takes on a life of their own. They're all kind of independently different, and people always say, how many were there? How many were there? How many were there? And I say, you know what? My answer is one. One, what's one? I said, if one person comes and doesn't have a good time, that upsets us.
Yes.
So that's why we work hard. We try to accommodate everybody that comes, whether they're just a visitor, whether they're participating, whether they're a club. And, we did have a few Hatfield and McCoy incidences last year at the Supercell. Some border wars where we didn't give them enough space, which is a good thing. So,
which has to be hard for you because, there's Gen 1s that dominate and then the Gen 6 dominates, but it's the guys in the middle generations kind of feel like, hey, where do we, or that's how I've seen it.
Yeah, Cliff Brumfield's done a great job with, the second generations had 80, 78, 79s out there last year. And they're getting active. 10 years ago, we'd be lucky to have 3 to 5 of them come out. But, that's kind of the generation you can see really getting value and adding some, some interest and getting more and more enthusiasts coming out in the 78, 79 generations.
Yeah.
But the 6Gs, they're a beast of their own, and it's good to see that the enthusiasm in the brand is back. And that's what excites us to see, an orphan brand brought back to life.
Yeah. Yeah, and especially like that Gen 2, which didn't have the longest life. So kind of, they probably want to feel special, and this is a good time for them to do it.
Yeah, I know you guys are talking about 2015 when I had my AARP card back then, but
I'm working on mine, Tom.
Back in the 70s when I was driving, if you know the story why the Bronco didn't come out till 78, 79, sometime we'll tell that story, but that's back in the oil embargo, and they were supposed to be out in 73. So, a lot of people, a lot of the old enthusiasts will know that, but it's nice to get, and that's what we try to do now in the magazine is get some of the history put back in where these new generation people can kind of relive their history, the history of Strop now that Ford's coming out with the new Strop edition, reliving the days of Baja dominance, and even further back, even before Ford versus Ferrari won the 3, first, second, third place back in the Pan Am games, Ford was first, second, and third game. And in the history of Ford and the Bronco is something that, this new generation needs to take, a hold of and understand.
Well, what kind of drew you to Bronco in general? What was the start of the passion for you?
Well, we were always car people. And the funny story is I was a Mustang guy. I had a Mustang in high school. I worked on Mustangs. I lived and dreamed Mustangs. And then I ran into this country girl. And all she did was have Broncos and had her dad have Broncos. And, we'd be driving her Broncos instead of my Mustangs. And then all of a sudden, I don't know when, but the switch flipped. All of a sudden, I loved the 4-wheel drive Mustang as a Bronco. So I'm driving all the Broncos and fixing the old Broncos, and she's taking off all in the Mustangs. So, starting back in our days in the 70s, we, 67 convertible was our first Mustang, but we've had every generation of Mustang. And starting in the Fox body, I was no longer driving the Mustangs. I was driving the Broncos.
Yeah.
And that's kind of just how it happened. And being in the magazine business, we have a lot of clients. We do car magazines for it. And we said, hey, we know what we're doing. We ought to have fun and come up with a magazine for our passion, which was 2001. And we said, hey, our passion is Broncos, and they're no longer around. We got to keep them active. And then we went to our first free for all event in 2001, and from there on, it just kind of has taken on a slow life of its own.
Well,
The events before Super Celebration were called free for all.
Huh. Well, how did Townsend get involved for you? Is it just kind of a general location where you're living, or?
Well, funny story is we did the first two Super Cells in Knoxville, and the first one was in conjunction with the F100 Super Nationals.
Mm-hmm.
And I happened to have a client that did a British car show up in Townsend, and I loved it. And I said, well, we ought to go up there. And it was at the Tally Ho. And so we went up there and said, hey, we're doing a British car show here. We'd like to do a Bronco show here. Well, of course. And that's it. That's kind of how it progressed into Townsend, and then the first year I'd take him for drives and Donna would cook for him. The second year I'd take him for drives and Donna would cook for him. The third year we had to bring in our brother-in-law and our sister-in-law. And, now it's all hands on deck. I have to recruit all my family. Lucky we have grandkids now old enough to drive, so we put them to work.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we have a daughter that's itching. We went out some back roads on the west side of Nashville the other day, and she really thought she was going to get to drive. And I was like, look, no, these are actually still public roads technically. I was like, I can't let you out here riding around. But she's itching to drive our Raptor that we picked up. So I know a Windrock trip's coming soon, and so she can get to drive. Because I remember my first trip to Windrock. There was a Hummer Club that used to go up there all the time in October, and we went up there the first time in October. And I remember seeing these little 10-year-olds driving these big military Humvees through Windrock, and I was just like, "What? They can drive here?" And a buddy of mine's like, "It's an off-road park, man. There is no age. As long as you sign the waiver, that's on you."
Hey, Dave. What's funny is you've been to one of those events up there for the Hummer. We they get out with their flip-flops and their shorts. They think they're off-roading, and their little button-down eyes-on shirts. Oh, no. It's like what the heck is going on up here?
Well, that same trip is when the girl come out. We were in some Nissan Xteras at the time, and this girl thought that her buddy they came from North Carolina, or South Carolina. I mean, it was several hours to get there. And she come in those riding boots with the high heels that women like the Han Solo.
No, they were chunky boots, but they were not cowboy boots, and they were 3 or 4 inches tall. And and it is the mud. If you hit the right spot, the mud is up to your knees. So it's not one of those like.
And they got out too. Remember?
And she did. She got out, and I was like, that is insane.
She was cussing this poor guy out. I thought we were just going for a simple ride.
Full transparency, though, I am that person that wears Chacos when we off road because they give me a better grip than some of my other shoes. But I'm sure as shit not in flip flops popping out there in a button up shirt. But I'll admit it.
We just had a jug. We just had a weird jug sitting in the back of our truck.
Stop it! That's for a story for another time.
You talk about people. I don't know how we got on this tangent, but we did go wheeling with a Bronco group, and up the first hill. This guy drove him from South Carolina with his new girlfriend up the first hill. At the top, she was out. Somebody had to drive her down, and she was gone, and he never saw her again. She was not an off-roading gal.
She is not having it.
After our first trip, I was not an off-roading gal either. But
yeah, we took her to a place here in Nashville called Wooley's Off-Road. And it's kind of the old Spike TV shows used to do a lot of, because they were all based out of Franklin there, and they would always test their off-road vehicles at this place, but it was pretty redneck. And there was some washout that I had this truck sideways in a washout. There was no danger, but she's a city girl that was like never. You drove a vehicle, you bought a vehicle, you drove it on the road, and that's all you did.
Well, and my parents were General Motors workers, so we traded in a vehicle every 3 years. So you didn't modify your vehicle. You didn't do anything with it. You drove it on the road, and you hoped it went back the exact same way that you drove it off the lot, just with some extra miles on it.
Yeah, and I got her there sideways on that one. She was cussing me out. I'm never doing this again. So I waited about a year. She mellowed out, and then I got her to Windrock, and sure enough, that same weekend, we on end of trail 26 or 27, there used to be a pipeline at the end of the trail, and it washed out, and the pipeline was kind of exposed. But we were sideways, and we could have rolled pretty easy. And she's like moms do, hands across the car. You know, that's going to save the world. If you
I'm in the passenger seat and I could literally touch the ground if I rolled my window down.
Buddy of mine was in the back seat and he opened the door and got out, and
I'm cussing him because he of course got out on the side that's like up in the air, and I'm going this. Yeah, I was like, we're done.
And so it took another year, Tom, for her to go. And the way I got her into it was we were on Trail 16 back when it was decent, and I was the tail gunner, and I said, hey, will you get in the driver's seat? I got to go help them up front. And this was all very specific what I was doing to her. And okay, well, I don't want to break nothing. I was like, see, you're not going to break anything. I said, well, what I do, I said, see the guy in front of you? If he goes off the hill, you don't follow him past that. Just kind of keep an eye on where he's going. And I didn't drive the rest of that trail. You drove the whole trail and you got hooked. Because right after that, she goes, I need my own. And I was like,
and 16's got that impressive climb out, the triple climb out at the back end side of it. So,
well, this was right at the beginning. You know where 2 goes into 16 there?
Oh, yeah.
This was right in there. And she drove that whole trail.
Yep. And that's not an easy climb. That's not an easy climb out at the end.
Yeah. Until the buggy. Every time they do a new trail there, the buggies tear that.
Oh, well, I know. It changes every 10 minutes. That's one of the problems about Windrock. But one of the exciting things, as this is a good transition, is Don and I have found a new private off-road park just 45 minutes from Townsend that we actually were out there last week riding, that we're going to bring people to for the super celebration.
Awesome.
Sadly, Bays Mountain closed. That's where we brought people last year.
Yeah.
And he's having insurance problems, so he decided to close the park. He considered letting us come out there, but he didn't. But I found this other park that's Kelly might have a little fun on some of those angles and those hills, but
yeah.
It's out there in the moonshiner country, where Digger, and if you watch Moonshiners, it's out there.
Popcorn, all those guys.
Yeah, they're out there. So it's kind of a nice little park, but we'll be having small groups go out there, and we'll have somebody lead them through the park each day. But that will be something that's going to be new, and that Windrock is always so busy, and the Shindig is going to be that weekend again. So
is it?
It's just hard.
It's tough. How do you balance, because obviously these are off-road 4-wheel drive vehicles. How do you find the balance of the classic guy is not going to take it? He might do light trails, a little dirt. He likes to do the overlook and all that. But how do you find a balance of some of the younger vehicles? They want to go try. They want to show up and meet their friends that they've talked to online probably most of the year, hang out, but they want to go experience off-roading. How do you find that? Because it sounds like it's a struggle to find some land that's decent enough.
Well, we kind of noticed that where the newer generation, they don't like pinstripes. I've learned the newer generation does not like pinstripes. And for those of you who don't know what pinstripes are, is little branches or and
Tom, that's because most of them have a really big car payment.
Yes. And so
it's like the first scratch, like once you get it over with, like you're fine.
Yeah.
Like the first one will make you cry, and then every other one is just a memory after that.
Well, and I find the new generation likes a little bit of thrill, but does not like a scare.
Yes.
So,
I can see that.
Especially like you say, when you're sitting hanging off a cliff upside down, when you can touch the ground with a $1,100 car payment. But so the off-road park we have has 3 different levels, and we will guide them through the park so that we will have a kind of a predetermined trail through that, and dividing up some of the older guys. Most of the older guys back when you could buy them for $1,000 were big into off-roading, but as the price and the value of these things go up, there's less and less of the early Bronco guys that want to go out and tear up their stuff. So they're either really built to go out and do something hard, and if you give them something mild, they're mad, or they, like you say, they want to stay on, the 4-wheel and on concrete, which we do a lot of that up there with the, Parsons Branch, or a little gravel on some of them. And even, the drives we take kind of give them a thrill, and 4-wheel on concrete.
That's always fun.
Yeah, and I think the one thing, the other thing is, as Allie will tell you in Colorado, and what we're working on is splitting up some of the drives with the new guys, the new guys or the 6Gs, the old guys drive whatever the new vehicle, is putting the separating them so that the 6Gs can kind of run the interstate. Can in Wisconsin they got on the interstate with a few of these old Broncos just for one exit, and it was traumatic. But they have a tendency can run out a little bit further to try things where the early Bronco guys they like to run in groups. So we always say if there's 10 or 20 early Broncos in a drive, you better have that 1/2-inch wrench or a toe strap.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I know it's interesting because when we used to do our off-road event, we had some real learning bumps along the way of figuring out how to educate people on, hey, you want to do this? Is this how you want to do this? So we at a point we had paragraphs of your vehicle has to have this if you're signing up for this and this. And, have you found that you've had to educate more people, or do you just kind of talk them through it and when they show up?
Absolutely. And that is, the off-roadios are doing a great job of educating these people, and then they get educated and then they want to do something. So that's what, super celebrations.
That's where I got hooked.
Yes, she did.
But also, like Allie can tell you, in Colorado, there's just so many different levels of trails that we inspect the vehicle and they'll say, no, you can't go on this, or you're really not, you're really not comfortable to go on that. And
we had
lie, I am very glad I flew out for my first year. I'm very happy that Becca let me borrow her Bronco. I'm very thankful for that. But I went with, I think her name was Megan, for the all ladies drive when we went to Mosquito Pass.
Was it Erica?
Did
you ride with Erica McConnell, or did you?
She has it. No, I can't remember. I thought it was Megan. Maybe it was Erica. But ever since now seeing it and knowing what to expect, I now feel more comfortable about driving my Bronco out there because it's intense.
Yeah.
Oh no, Colorado's not a place to joke. Yeah, you don't joke around in certain places in Colorado.
But you're absolutely right, Dave. The education is very paramount, and a lot what we're planning on doing even in the Supercell when we go out to this off-road park is the owner of the park is very good about, and he has an area where you can bring them and have a little classroom session.
Awesome.
Yeah. And there's a gun range too, so we can shoot a few guns and have a classroom session.
Oh darn! And Broncos and guns. What's better?
So unfortunate.
But
just not each other. We heard Hatfield McCoy earlier. I just not each other.
So
I know Allie's been out to the gun range in Colorado indoors. And
we've seen a lot of pictures where Allie was at that I was like, really?
Yeah,
you had to show me these things.
Well, I think if Allie had scripted her trip to Colorado, life is sometimes crazier than fiction. I don't think Allie could have scripted her first trip to Colorado the way.
No.
I'm not gonna. I
couldn't have scripted it.
I asked you who I was going with because I went with a stranger on a plane. Flew further into Colorado. No, it was pretty amazing.
And lucky, I told him not to give you the parachutes, especially on your first time. That would be an adrenaline for the second or third when they give you the parachute.
My problem is now that I drove a DR, what's next?
Well, Ford's talking about a Mustang, off-road Mustang, so maybe that's next.
Electric off-road Mustang.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So each event you've talked about, each event is kind of unique, but this is kind of the baby event, right? This was the first.
Yeah, this is the first. This is obviously the biggest.
Yeah.
And a lot has to do with being the longest and being the closest to, a lot of the population. Mm-hmm. It's just, like I said, it's taken on a life of its own. And we try to keep, this year and the big thing that's going to be changed this year is all the pre-registrations are going to have what's called a fast pass.
Nice.
So they're going to have their credentials and their booklets mailed to them so they can bypass that check-in station.
Oh, awesome.
Which
cool.
really should alleviate a lot of the, the bottleneck we had last year.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, it's tough for you because this thing is taking up so much space, which is not a bad thing, obviously.
Yeah.
But when our first year was in 20 somewhere in there, right when COVID hit, when you had to push it to the fall, I guess it was.
Mhm.
But we yeah, it was like I remember we just parked pretty much kind of anywhere. There was all the cool.
We were in our
lineup of-
BMW 535
Yeah,
too.
yeah, I was out there off-roading that thing in the middle of that field. But and to see like it just grows and grows and grows. But you used to have it was easy for you guys to check people in. Now, yeah, you can't have Broncos out in the middle of the road because you want to be a good steward and
to the town.
not upset the
Just
town,
keep it
which is
going.
is why everybody should watch their speed. By the way,
Yes.
Keep
Oh
your
yeah,
speed in check.
Townsend that week is a stickler on speed.
Yes, but
Yeah.
I really like the way you guys adapt. Like we got stuck when we were doing our off-road event. We kind of had the bones of it. Here's the Bible of it. We knew every week kind of what to do. But we might get 100 vehicles show up where you're getting thousands and thousands. I don't know how you guys handle it. I really don't. The stress level, and you don't really seem to have any white hairs, Tom. So
so my toupee is looking okay. Yeah, as you guys do events, everything has to be planned up. Once you open that gate, it's just a matter of corralling horses and putting out fires.
Literally horses.
Yeah.
That's you caught that.
No
I
pun
did.
intended.
Pardon the pun.
Well, and that's the thing. I feel like it takes like Tom said earlier, kind of when we were chatting, like it takes a village to throw these on, but I also think it's the community.
Mhm.
And like for the most part, everybody respects each other. And like they're there to have a good time too.
And if you go to any of these business meetings in Townsend or even in the the Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge area, they praise the Broncos. They praise the people that ride Broncos. Now they loathe the Jeeps. They cannot stand the Jeeps, but the Broncos, we have all the support of every, the sheriff, the city ordinance people. We just have everybody's been respectful, and they treat the community and they treat the roads out there like they're their hometown. They're not like they're on vacation and whatever happens in Vegas stays in.
It's funny. It's funny you say that, Tom, about Jeeps versus Broncos, because we actually ran into that when we were doing our Nissan event. They loved us and our Nissan crew.
We kept a good event keeps them in line.
Right. So they loved us, but did not like and I think the problem is that Jeeps are so wide spread out of like the group of people because some people only know of a Jeep being able to do what our vehicles do. So I think a lot of times people just go, "Ooh, it's the easy thing. I'm going to get a Jeep," and they don't really maybe there's not that necessarily that community of camaraderie to have respect for everything. Jeep Forum
will kill their own. Like I swear to God,
we've seen that.
If their kid asked the wrong question on there, they would abuse their own child.
Dude, like serious, they're insane.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
I guess that's why Jeep's a 4-letter word.
That's right.
Rob had a good question. Are any of the trails near North Carolina going to be open?
That is a good question. We're taking a wait and see. I know a lot of people like to go out to Buzzard Roost and look for the feral people in the balsam, but it's still undetermined at this point what they're going to have opened, what's been repaired, and we're going to probably have to take a wait and see attitude for another few months on what part of that.
Because people don't realize you guys actually got hit pretty. I know North Carolina got the focus as they should have because there was a lot of towns destroyed there, but East Tennessee got hit just as hard.
Yeah, Newport, where the off-road park that we're going to go to is they got hit pretty good downtown, and it did stay kind of a little bit east of Tennessee though, so we were fortunate.
Well, so I know I saw something the other day with Bronco Driver magazine. It's print, but I seen that you're talking about taking it digital, right?
Well, we're going to offer a digital subscription. We're going to keep our print subscription.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
We're not going away, but the younger generation likes everything on their phone, and we're trying to if you've been following the magazine, which I know you guys aren't probably even old enough to be following from the beginning, but
not for 3 years.
We're getting into the Q codes where they can scan the Q codes and It takes them to, more pictures, more stories. So we're trying to embed a little bit of the digital stuff and take them to instant gratification when they get a digital copy. They can scan and get the extra pictures. And then, the old guys like myself that, don't understand that technology, that want a printed magazine, we'll still have that as well. But
well, it's funny. I was saying I was at this off-road park in Nashville called Woolies. I remember seeing a friend from California was in Peterson's off-road, whatever magazines, and they may have had y'all sitting there. I don't know, but at this old barn where you checked in, I remember going, "Oh shit!" Like I would have never, like digitally, I would have never noticed my buddies made the cover of a magazine, but that's something that I kind of like. And she knows I had to throw a bunch of magazines away one time because I hoard those things. And I love print media, and there's something about when you turn the page, there's something, the excitement of it, where I guess because of the TikTok thing, you just do this and you just like move on. I love magazines, so I don't ever want to see magazines just truly go away. And as you know, in the industry that I'm in, like paper is dying and dying. So I guys, please support paper magazines. I promise you you'll respect it more in 10 years when you still have all those in your
back
in your
issues
garage. Versus going to the internet.
So as we transition, we're going to do both. We're not going anywhere with the print issue.
That's awesome.
But we're trying to be more proactive, and AI technology, whatever, in the future. The young generation's prodding me.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I think that's a great show of you guys wanting to stick around, obviously, because evolution is absolute. Like, you have to evolve with the times.
Oh yeah.
And if you don't, then it goes away. And so
that's how it gets left behind.
Exactly. And for you guys to say, hey, we have to evolve and we want to do this, but we also have our folks that still want that magazine. And as you can see, there's definitely folks that still want it. So I'm excited to see the digital, because I'm the digital person. Like, I'm the one that goes, hey, let me go ahead and pull it up on my phone. I'm the Control F when I want to find something kind of person, that it drives me crazy if I have something print and I can't do Control F, because I just want to be able to do it right now. And so the fact that there's that digital version, I'm excited to see that and kind of see that evolve along the way too, and see what it looks like in the digital format. So I'm excited about that for you.
Yeah, and the young graphic guys have done it. So we wanted to do it right. We just didn't want to do a PDF. So they've got it. So now we be converted in a flip book and done the right way.
Oh, nice.
So it's going to be, if we're going to do it, we want to do it right so that it works.
So it's going to give you that magazine feel on the digital version, is what it sounds like. That's awesome.
And you can turn page. Yeah. So if I do it, I want to do it right, the right way in the future, not just trying to Band-Aid.
Awesome. And in order to subscribe to all that, just go to your website and do all that process.
Yep. We have all the options on there. And as you should see in the next couple days, we should be opening registration for Tennessee.
Perfect.
So we have, a lot of the information, a lot of the drives. Of course, people understand we'll be adding more activities and drives as we, some people don't answer their phones or return calls over the holidays. It's hard to compile it all.
For sure. Awesome. Well, that's exciting. Yeah. Before we kind of get more into what this year looks like, I know you kind of mentioned the throwback event. So tell us a little bit about throwback for those that don't know what throwback is.
Okay. The throwback is the Bronco event, and it's only strictly for the 66 to 96 Broncos.
So that's Gen 1 through Gen 5.
That is correct. And we did it last year, the weekend before the Super Celebration. We did it at the Tally Ho Inn. We did it as like we had done it from the beginning. Mm-hmm. And it was a big success. A lot of the new guys, a lot of the old Bronco drivers were wanting to segregate themselves from the newbies. And I said, you can't. A Bronco is a Bronco, whether it's a Bronco 2 or 6th generation. A Bronco is a Bronco.
Sport. I'm not on team Bronco Sport.
Watch yourself.
I'm kidding, of course.
Wait, so sounds coming from.
That's not a Bronco.
You have a weird echo, Tom.
I know, it's
very feminine sounding.
But and anyway, so we're going to do it in September. in fall because, people can't take 10 days out of work from a Friday through a Sunday. And, we polled a lot of people, and the feedback was that, they could take off 2 days for Supercell, Thursday and Friday, come down Wednesday, whatever. And then they could take one day off in fall for the throwback, and they get to see their Bronco friends twice a year.
Cool.
In the old days, we used to do what's called a fall Ford weekend, which we did at the Tally Ho, which encompassed all, Mustangs, Broncos, trucks. And so we kind of moved it into, everybody kind of liked fall. And if you do it right for October, the rates don't go up, and the kind of a good time of year before the rush gets driving through the mountains with the leaves changing.
As I say, the colors are starting to change just a little bit if we get that cool snap in the fall.
Yeah. So that's why we moved it into the last weekend in September. And again, it'll be a lot of fun. But it's kind of more of a laid back event, not as many vendors. We cook you a barbecue on Saturday night. We used to cook it. We bring in the food truck now. But we serve it. We serve it buffet style with the staff. So it's more of a personal event.
That's awesome.
And that's kind of what the next thing we're going to be doing. We're going to be coming out this year. We're very close to releasing the dates. Is what's called Bronco Campfire Cruises. And these are going to be small groups, 12 to 15 people. We will be having a Windrock dates where we'll take them up to Windrock. We'll have a campground up there we camp at. We'll cook you dinner on one night. We'll go off-roading, be kind of a smaller group where we'll do hands-on training if there'll be people up there that, can answer their questions. We'll start them on easy trails, do lunches. And then we're going to have one that will be based out of the Smoky Mountains where we'll take them on scenic drives, and then we'll take them to an off-road park one day. We'll take them on scenic drives one day. And also we're going to be doing them out in Colorado, which, I saw Allie perk up right there. So, we'll be doing weekends, but those will be a little bit more overlanding where once you leave, you're not going to be coming back for 2 days, and we will camp, on the trails somewhere. And, over the last 4 or 5 months, we've been putting these things together, scouting trails, meeting people. We just don't have, it will go up. A lot of the information will go up in the next couple days under the campfire cruises, but we just don't have the dates locked in. But if you're interested in doing something like that, we urge you can text us Campfire Cruises. We have a number, or email us Campfire Cruises. And as soon as we get those dates and final information locked down, we'll email or contact these people first before we post it.
Very cool. That's super.
But it's going to be it's going to be a one-on-one, a small with the Bronco Driver staff and some other surprise people that will go out and take you out on the trails that we know.
Well, knowing your connections to surprise people.
I know. I was about to say, anyone who knows Tom, it could be anybody.
It might be a pretty amazing stop-in.
Is it Mitchell Watts? Just please tell me, is it Mitchell Watts?
No.
Oh man!
But you all live in Nashville. You should have a lot of surprise guests you can bring out with Broncos.
Well, they don't like to drive their Broncos.
No.
Much.
Well,
some of the people that I know with Broncos, either they're out on tour or they're not driving their Broncos up and back down the road.
Yeah.
They drive it for a photo. They drive it for
pretty
their photo.
much. Pretty much.
And for that Instagram post, and that's about it.
Yeah. And thinking about that for photos, like, of course, this has got nothing to do with this, but do it.
Share that again.
I will.
Okay.
People out in California, man, my heart goes out to you guys for that, because I'm sure there was a lot of Broncos that melted away out there. So that's
sadly, I do believe the Top Gun Bronco got burnt.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm. I saw a rumor about that.
We may have pictures, and there's another one we have pictures of. I did a tragic story about a family that lost their Bronco in the fire up in the campfire that was up there in Paradise.
Okay.
I did a heartwarming story. I had the guy's Bronco before, and then after it was burnt, and that was his life. His kids grew up in it. Just sad situation. But he ended up rebuilding it. But just the sad of all the cars, all the houses, regardless of the make, marquee.
Yeah.
It's just our thoughts and prayers go out to those people. It has to be just,
vehicles
traumatic.
can be replaced, but lives cannot.
For sure.
Yeah.
But it is sad though that thinking like there's, like you were just saying, there's memories attached to a lot of these vehicles. And of course, in California too, it'll rust. You could have a patina original
Forever.
that dad had.
There's a great collection out in California.
Yeah. We had a house fire when I was in the 8th grade, and it obviously wasn't on the level of what California kind of experienced, but you don't really realize like what an impact a fire has and really like what you have in your home until you have to start making that inventory for your insurance company.
Are you about to cry?
No, not this time. Maybe. But like to know that, and there's nothing, it's going to sound weird, but there's a smell to a house fire that like it's completely unique. Yeah. Like there is nothing, there's nothing like it. So you'll get those like tragic memories back from those things too when the time comes. So these people will be experiencing this for years and years and years to come down the road of all these things. So memories and everything. Yeah. It's just, there's a ton to it.
And that's just, beautiful part of the area too. Malibu and all that.
For sure.
So you had something over here.
Yeah. So I wanted to kind of touch upon, I see something else on your site, Tom. Yep. What's this bucking Bronco that we see on the left-hand side of this thing?
You haven't been to Vegas and taken a bucking Bronco and rented it and taken it up?
I haven't. No.
When I go to Vegas, it's for business, and I want to get out of Vegas as fast as possible.
It's for SEMA, right? That's why I like.
Done.
But what we've done is we've kind of partnered, and he's got several Broncos out there that he rents with Turo, and we brought a few of them here to. We're going to rent a few Broncos with Turo and through us. These are new 6G Broncos, as well as we're going to use these to lead some of the campfire cruises and bring in people to drive them to use on the campfire cruises. So it's kind of a way people, you were talking about training people, educating people. It's kind of, they come to this off rodeo and they want to do something else. So, they can rent Bronco and cruise through the Smoky Mountains, or they can sign up for one of our campfire cruises and, possibly rent one of the Broncos to take depending on the availability.
Awesome.
I mean, we only have 3 of them. So, it's a kind of a limited number right now, but,
so are you booked out for Supercell yet?
That was going to be my question.
What do you think? We got to have one for Dave, one for Kelly, one for Allie. They're all 3 are gone.
All right, can I at least get the one with the stripe on it?
That a lot of people don't realize, the Gulf Heritage, the blue one. I'm sure you're talking about. You've seen the blue one. We call it Sky. They're all named.
Yes.
Yeah,
they have stories.
We have Lucy, Sky, and Gunner. So Lucy's in the sky with Gunner.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very
so
cool.
We, a long story short, is I don't know if anybody that's listening or if y'all have ever been to the DMV. It was easier getting insurance than getting a license plate.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
Actually, we finally got 2 of the 3 license plates done. They're all insured, but 2 of the 3 license plates done. So you're going to see more actively, if people are ready to rent them. We're kind of waiting till the first of the year till we got them here, got them cleaned up, make sure they're all serviced. And, they got 10,000, 15,000 miles on these things. So they're new.
They're just broke in.
Yeah, they're just brand new babies.
They're brand new, and they're they're nice Heritage Lux packages. They've got good color schemes. One's Everglades. So
I saw those Everglades.
Hey, rest in peace, Everglades.
I was gonna say rest in peace, Everglades.
The billboard. So, go ahead, Tom.
So that's another thing we're going to be, in expanding our Bronco horizon this year in the 6G world. I'm trying to get a few of these EBs finished so that we can rent them too, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, so many people might not realize, and I know you had said this last year, that this is a weird, every 4 years the date gets moved around just a little bit, right?
Yeah, we like to do it the 3rd weekend April. This year we're the 4th week in April because Easter happens to be as late as it possibly can.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's a good thing or a bad thing because the rod run moved up a week. We moved back a week. So
Okay.
we won't be on the rod run weekend, which is good for some, bad for others, depending
Sure.
on if you like all that traffic and chaos or if you
Yeah.
like peace and tranquility. I know, you know,
It
I know
gets
what
a
I
little crazy.
prefer.
Yeah, no.
Well, and especially because Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge and all of that are already crazy any time of the year, it seems, let alone on a rod run / supercell week. It's and the shindig for Windrock. So like it's like the trifecta of crazy that it was last year for sure.
And
like off-road too?
being my picture with my big orange Bronco is up at the post and the police station at Pigeon Forge when I was pulled over during the rod run. They wanted to measure my lift kit. Funny story. This was probably 10 years ago, and I was driving the rod run with my Bronco, and they pull me over, and I say, "Hey, I don't mind you measuring my lift kit, but can I take pictures?" And the police officer says, "I've never had anybody want to take pictures while I'm arresting them before." And I said, "Well, I know the lift laws because I just written a story about the whole lift laws." And so she said, "I don't mind you taking pictures." I said, "Donna, go take pictures." So I got pictures of the police with me at the big Bronco, and they took a copy of it, made it, and put it on the wall in their yeah, they took it out of the magazine because I'd ran stories. They blew it up and put it on the wall in their break room. So
That's
Only in
hilarious.
Townsend.
Oh, that
that's
was
in
good.
Pigeon Forge.
Oh, Pigeon Forge, my bad. But
Yeah.
still, that same neck of the woods, essentially.
Yeah. Well,
That's funny.
Townsend's pretty good with the Broncos.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand. There's Townsend City Police, and then there's Blount County Sheriffs. Townsend City Police is a force of like 4 or 5, and they have all they can do, but they're very supportive of everything we do. Um, and then Blount County comes in and kind of helps them a little bit when the masses come in for some of these events.
Well, Tom, so like 6G obviously is taking over this event, and obviously it's new. People are buying them. There's a lot of them. People are excited to get into. There's a younger generation now buying these vehicles that don't know much about the Gen 1s, but how do you with clubs? I know clubs like to feel special and all this. Of course, we have Tennessee Bronco Club here. How do you reserve space for those guys? And yet, vendors, I presume this year you're going to have more vendors than you had last year because it just seems to keep growing. Like at some point, like where do people park? Where do you put all these people?
Last year, as you saw, we took the trucks and trailers and we moved them to the 2 big lots down at the Tally Ho, which again, we will be doing this year. We try to leave enough space for visitor parking, that's kind of getting overrun too, with everybody wanting to come out and see these Broncos.
Yeah.
And see the vendors, pick up parts. So last year we were cut out of 4 or 5 acres because of the grass situations. And so we think we'll be okay this year, hopefully. You see that finger? And the club situation is, again, last year was pretty close, 50-50 from, first through 5 gen and 6 gen.
Wow.
So, the transition is slowly coming. I think maybe Nevada, we had a couple more new ones than the old ones. So I think that was where the paradigm shift finally made it, where the new ones are going to outnumber the old one. But, we try to set aside areas for the club based on how many members they think have pre-registered and that are going to come.
Right.
And, then you have the ones that walk up that throw us off. That's why we had border wars, because, they tell me they're going to have 18 and then 25 show up, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, we're trying to urge some of the people that are coming by themselves from North Carolina, find the North Carolina club, get active with them. It's a good way to meet your people and become an active Bronco person from people that are in your area. So I think we had 24 clubs last year. So I think we'll probably have more this year. I've got a couple already new ones that have signed on.
I've talked to a lot of people, and I think what's really cool about these events is that you have so many people drive from all over the U.S. to do this. Like, I've talked to several people that are coming from California. that
That's
are
awesome.
coming from Arizona, that are coming from Nevada and Colorado and all the states out west, and making the drive out here just to be around people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
like
it's-
Steve P, one of our dedicated
Yeah.
viewers, he came from Arizona last year, and I think he's coming again this year.
I think he's coming again.
Yeah,
I know he was in the
a lot
chat
of
a little
people. A lot of people didn't realize I have pictures where people actually flew in from Colombia, the country,
Wow.
from New Zealand.
Yes.
Yeah, New Zealand
We
was the
actually
one
talked to
that we
those.
announced them. But wait, last year that family was there from China.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Well,
They
then there's
actually,
Jordan Parker's. Who knows where he flies in from?
That's very true.
Iceland.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think there was a lot of people don't realize Iceland has a lot of Broncos.
Yeah.
It
In
does.
1974, it was the second best selling vehicle on Iceland, other than the VW Bug.
Wow.
So it's fun to, and as these new generation Broncos get shipped all over the world, it's even going to become more of a world phenomenon.
Because people love American vehicles. I always want what Australia has, whether the cool Ford stuff they had down there,
Like
the
the
Everest
Everest.
now. The Everest
need
now,
the
I
Everest.
desperately want. But I think there's a couple things that are super American: Mustang, Bronco. You can say Jeep as well, and Corvette. Really,
I mean,
past
you
that,
can,
everything's
but-
generic.
Yeah.
But those cars are so American that those people who love American cars, they want to come to the heartland. They want to see if their favorite vehicle is the Bronco. They want to come see all the Broncos at one time.
Mhm.
And I think what you're putting on is a great place to do that.
Yeah. Well, they get 11 million visitors in the Smoky Mountains every year without a Bronco event. So,
And now they get 11
if it gives them an
million.
excuse to come visit Broncos, drive your Bronco, talk Bronco,
Or rent one, clearly.
Yeah, now you can rent them.
Yeah.
Now you can fly in, and the sad thing is the Townsend has lost 2 nice restaurants in the last few months.
Oh,
I don't know
no.
if people have known about the fires up there, but they lost the barbecue place across from the Tally Ho, and they did lose the steak and trout. It burnt down.
Oh,
no.
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 Wait, is the company still there?
Yes, the
company.
Okay. Scared me
company
there.
the company is still there.
Nervous.
Dave's okay now.
Well, because they're pesto fries, really. I mean,
Oh,
that's good.
okay.
Yeah.
I love their
those
whiskey
are
too, but the pesto fries.
Pesto fries are.
And we'll let Dave tell the story of the guy that does all the cooking of the liquor.
No, I'm not telling any stories.
Oh, okay. He's the master distiller from.
Yeah. From
the
Jack
company,
Daniels.
from Jack
Yeah.
Daniels.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Which I think he's out of Nashville now. I forget.
They-
The company's
they
a
have
weird.
few
It's a
spots.
weird place. You can find it in package stores, but they have these tiny little distilleries they do, which is really fun.
Yeah, they're all a fun little.
And it's
place.
good. It's good too.
For
but
sure.
That's a whole.
That's a whole-
That's Bourbon
that's a
Nation
whole-
channel. That's
But I
our
will
fourth
say
channel.
to kind of piggyback on the food thing, like I didn't try the barbecue place, and I also didn't try the steak and trout. But I've not heard anyone complain about the food in Townsend. So I will definitely say everywhere that everyone has gone to has had a great experience.
The thing last year was, what did we get at Supercell? They had the ice cream, if I remember right.
Yeah.
But there was a little basket. We were getting something in a little basket of was it barbecue nachos or
Barbecue
something?
nachos.
Oh my God, Tom! Please tell
They
me.
kept selling out of the barbecue
Yes.
nacho, the chips
yeah.
or something. There was something that they kept selling out of, and we were like, "Dang, keep bringing food."
Yeah,
And
a lot of people.
go ahead.
A lot of people don't realize is that I actually contract with the Wares Valley Food Truck Park owners.
Mm.
They're the ones that come bring all the food trucks in and handle all the food, because they know who are the good.
Oh, that's good.
They know who can put out food. They know who serves good food. So he's in charge of inviting and handling all the permits and making sure
Awesome.
that we have quality food there. And I gotta say, I think everybody kind of likes. Some of them, are like the chicken coop. Everybody look forward to. He must put crack in that chicken, because
It's very good.
it's very good. And it's got a cult following from the Bronco people. And then, he had the singer down there last year that, was a big phenomenal of the show.
Yeah, it's funny because you definitely have we're creatures of habit especially because in these events we don't always get a chance to eat because we can't get away from the booth or whatever. So there's always like, oh, go ahead and get me the chicken again, or oh, get me the nachos again. So there's like these few things that are always super sell to us, and that is it's the chicken wrap, and it is the barbecue nachos and chicken tenders. But and the ice cream. Like you can't miss the ice cream.
So are you expecting more vendors for that kind of stuff this year? Because there's always been lines. So
he tries to bring in 5 or 6. Again, it has to do a lot with the space. And again, last year we couldn't plug up because of the permit didn't get passed. So we had to bring in at the last minute a big generator to run all these food trucks. It's with 48-hour notice, you got to jump and change directions.
Yeah.
After we spend 364 days planning something, it gets thrown out in the last. But yeah, I try to have a good cross reference of foods, different foods, not the same.
Yeah.
And you want to have enough where it's worth their while, but not too many where that the lines you don't want to have too few that the lines are too long and too many that none of them want to come back.
Well, there's coffee. I know. Wasn't there a coffee?
Yes, there's a coffee one too, which is great. That's always fabulous.
Yeah, as vendors, yes.
Yes.
If we could just get Monster to come in, I would greatly appreciate that as well. So Monster, please.
So Tom, the big elephant in the room that everybody wants to know about, and I know you're probably still in some of the planning stages, but one of the big questions we get all the time is, are the bathrooms going to be up and running this year?
They were at the event after mine, so unless something crazy happens, and I go up there Thursday and tour because they put in a lot of new electrical and water stations throughout the whole bottom. They didn't have the big lights up, and they're supposed to be building a stage.
Awesome.
I work well with the stage, Tom. I really do.
I tell you. Kelly, if you saw those bathrooms, they make Buc-ee's look bad.
And if you've seen any of
right.
Tom, if you've seen any of the shows, I'm a big Buc-ee's fan. So
I know. So
I'm all about it.
Yeah, and you go Buc-ee's, it's an impressive restroom.
Yes.
But these were impressive. I mean, it was crazy.
It was impressive that you couldn't use them.
It was. I said
everybody was like, "Where are the rat? Why can't we use them?"
And then to add insult to injury, the city says, okay, being you paid for the restrooms, what we'll do is we'll get the porta potties and we'll spread them out. Well, they get the porta potties, and they're used to 1-day events, not 5-day events.
Yeah.
So I get there the second day, about halfway through, and I found out they had cleaned them every day. So they're running out of toilet paper. I said, y'all are making me look bad.
Yeah.
Because bad enough you don't have the restrooms open. Then you put restrooms in and you don't clean them on a daily basis. So your crowd,
especially in the heat, that can get real bad real quick.
Yeah. And then you have a bear in the dumpster, so it's like trash everywhere.
I told you not to mention that, Tom. One time I was in the dumpster. Okay.
Well, 2 Broncos got tore up with bears last year.
I did. I saw. I remember seeing that.
Yeah, Tom sent me the footage to post like immediately, and I'm like in the cabin watching this, and I'm like, oh my Lord.
Yeah, and it's funny is when you're on drives, and I'm not going to save the Bronco people because I've been on drives and they're just as guilty. Is you see a bear or a cub and they stop in the middle of the road and they get out like they're in a zoo, and it's like you can't block traffic. It's like an event.
That's the thing, like especially going through like Cade's Cove and like everyone stops. It's like, guys, just keep going. Would you like
PSA, folks? They are wild animals. They do not want to snuggle. If you see a baby and you don't see mama, you better stay in your vehicle, especially because mama is nearby and watching, and mama does not. Have you heard the saying, mama bear? There's a reason for that. Just going to say. So stay in your car and just keep moving.
Yeah, but it's fun. It's fun when every year we seem to have drives that go by bear sightings. So it's kind of cool that the people get to see that, but they have to understand it's like you're on the African safari. You keep moving and you look at the bear and you let everybody behind you see the bear. You don't stop and get out.
Yep, exactly. So definitely for sure.
Yeah. So as a 6th gen owner, well, previous 6th gen. Well, I don't know what we call ourselves now, but
it's still a 6th gen. It's just a.
Well, wait. I got somewhere I'm going with this.
It's still a
Tom,
6th
I
gen.
really think we need the upper class now, the owners of Raptors. We need our own section. I'm just
Wow.
gonna throw this out there. We need a Raptor Alley.
Everyone's gonna kick you
No,
guys
no.
out.
I know. I'm just playing.
You don't need a Bronco corral. You need Jurassic Park.
See?
It's true.
You need Jurassic Park for your Raptors. We need to have a nice electric
We
fence
need to
so when
get
you
like a
guys get on a line, we
velociraptor.
can just zap you back
Yeah.
in line.
That's right, man. So when one of them takes off, probably me takes off out. I'm gonna hit a cone for one thing.
That's true story and a sign.
I'm gonna run over one of Tom's cones, but yeah. So when you see somebody peeling out, you zap them with one of them cattle prods, and you go get back in your alley.
Get back in line.
Get back in Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
So, but in all seriousness, Raptors is its own thing now. And how do you in the future kind of, they want to feel special, and I'm not saying this because we own one, because
Dave wants to feel special, guys.
No. But I seen a lot of last year. There was a lot of Raptors there.
Give me the keyboard.
And I at some point Raptors want to hang out with Raptors, just like first gens want to hang out with first gens. Do you anticipate anything down the road of going, man, there's a lot of Raptors showing up. Do we do something special for them?
I didn't until you brought this to my attention. I do now.
See the kind of things
Great.
ATM
I need
break.
to make his list longer, Dave.
But
Right?
but you know what? I think the All Terrain Nations tent needs to be the Raptor Jurassic Park headquarters.
Well, I can't afford to. You are a very affordable event, but let me tell you, I can't afford all these Raptors that might show up. No, but like in seriousness, I bet you see even more Raptors. Like for one, the prices are actually getting somewhat affordable going to them again. But
and we did have one in Nevada that got bumped.
Oh,
it wasn't on a drive. It was on the way to the event. They had a little damage done to their Raptor.
Yeah. Hey, I seen Jurassic Park. I know how Raptors handle these things. They just bite things and move on.
Yeah.
No, I would probably be sad too, knowing what we paid for ours. But
Yeah,
but so I'm pretty excited for this. This is always normally I have a clock, but my clock died. We have a countdown clock for Supercell, and I even bought another one and missed 6 years of college over here, and my idiot self cannot figure out how to get this clock going.
I haven't even attempted. I'm sorry, folks. I'm a reporting person, and I'm an end of year, end of quarter, and it's just a shit show at work right now. I don't have time.
Well, wow. I'm sorry. I'm sorry,
but
everybody.
I just don't have a moment.
Kelly
right
said
now.
she just didn't have time for y'all.
I just don't have a moment right now.
I'm sorry.
You're lucky I'm on the show tonight. I'm going back to work after this.
So Tom, what else can we talk about with your event in what you've got going on? Anything else we can squeeze out of you for information?
Well, I mean, I could sit and tell Bronco stories all day, but the thing is, what's crazy is have you been to the Blue Man Group? Any of you been to?
Now, I know of it, but I've never been to it.
Okay, when you go to the Blue Man Group, you have the greatest time.
We've been
you go out of there, you're just having the best time, and everybody goes, "Well, what was it about?" It was guys that were painted blue.
Yeah.
In the Bronco event, Bronco Super Celebration is kind of like that. You get home and they go, well, "What did you do?" "Oh, I drove my Bronco." Well, I looked at, it's kind of like mundane, and you're like, "Oh, well, that doesn't sound like fun."
And like everyone keeps asking, because like I help run the Michigan Bronco group, and like I have a relatively like big group coming, and there's a lot of newbies like for their first year. They're like, "Well, what do you expect?" I'm like, well, I'm like, there's a lot of driving your Broncos. There's hanging out with Bronco people. There's Bronco mods. It's just like don't expect anything and like expect everything. I don't know.
But and we're trying to put together a couple more after hour activities. Some of that is not quite finished yet, so it won't be on this. But a night drive, maybe a drive to a theater. Drive-in
night
theater
drive would be fun.
Like kind of what we did in Colorado. We did the drive-in theater where it was nothing but Broncos. But we're trying to expand a little bit, because without the rod run, a lot of these people are looking for things to do that other than waiting in line at a restaurant. So a lot of people don't realize the clubs hang out there till later in the evening anyway. doing their own camaraderie, and that's kind of was how the Bronco Super Celebration got started. Hanging out around the fire.
Love after hours.
Yeah, talking. So there's just other things we're working on in order to expand it even more, and have more activities for people to keep themselves busy. Although that sometimes doesn't be the case. And as Allie will tell you, when you think you're going to a super celebration like Colorado, what you think you're going to encounter is sometimes not what you encounter. It's like what you thought you were driving into. We fooled you.
Yeah,
100%.
Just remember, what happens at Bronco Super Celebration does not stay.
No,
like
that's
you
true.
drive those vehicles home.
No, it's on Facebook 10 minutes later. So just
100%.
Especially with me doing Tom's social media now.
Yeah,
That's it.
there
Welcome
you go.
to 2025.
And that's another thing we're working on is building. We want people to post on our social media page. Post your Bronco pictures. Post your, like the bear getting into the Bronco. There's just so much that goes on. There's so many moving parts, you just can't see it all. And you get home and find out a story a week later that happened.
Yeah.
Wait, a tree fell down on one of our drives and the guys had to get their chainsaws out and cut it up.
I was about to say tag Bronco Driver magazine and anything, and I will. Okay, not anything, but I will reshare it.
And do y'all have a hashtag for this year that y'all want to use so people want to share, especially on Instagram? I know it's easy to search.
Or is that a TBD?
Probably a TBD.
All right.
Okay.
We'll think of something creative.
There you go.
We'll go too creative. Small, smooth brain.
I was going to say, recommendation on hashtags, because we've been to many media events. The more difficult it is, the less likely you're going to get it correct. So try to stay easy enough, but unique enough. So
it's not going to be Bronco anti-disestablishmentarianism.
No, I don't think
25.
a lot of people can spell some of those words. So I think you might be in trouble.
Small letters, Tom.
I've seen Bronco spelled Bronko, so it's.
I mean, there's that.
Well, Tom, we greatly appreciate you coming on tonight.
Yes.
I love coming on talking Broncos. Anytime we can chit chat and talk Broncos, I welcome it.
Of course.
And we look forward to having you guys come out and broadcast and hang out with Allie.
Are you guys going to be doing a live stream?
Well, we
usually do some sort of live stream.
I usually like to do a walk around, but I want to do a booth setup this year, kind of like what John and them do, where we have a special hour. We're just gonna get everybody to come over to our tent,
kind of scheduled ahead of time.
Yeah, we're gonna do something special because the internet's getting better.
Yes,
that's been the biggest issue. There is sometimes the internet's.
And a couple of these guys have Starlink now, so
will Bronco Nation be there? Do we know yet?
I have not got any confirmation, yay or nay, from them yet. We are trying to work with the off-rodeo there in Tennessee to do something nice and fancy.
I didn't know if I could ask about that yet because I'm like, I know this.
Conversations are in the works, but again, you'll see things added as we go from the schedule that will be posted in the next couple of days. It's kind of a cursory preliminary schedule, and there's a lot of things in the works that just. We started 364 days ago to try to get it finished so in details. But when you deal with third parties, you're kind of sometimes at the mercy of other people. And
we learned that when you're not the one that's in control of all of it, sometimes you're just waiting.
And I will say, for anybody who's wanting to do the off-rodeo Tennessee, which Kelly and Allie got to do, I would do better if you're trying to get
a VIP tour.
Yeah, but if you're trying to get in anywhere near that date, you better do it now. I have a feeling they're probably already booked out. But if you're interested in doing the off-rodeo stuff,
either right before or right after.
Yeah, you better go start making those phone calls and emails to them because it's going to be. Think about it, all these Bronco people. I remember one year it was 1,200. I don't even know what last year was, but there's a lot of Bronco people.
Yeah.
They're interested in.
And that's the thing. If we can do something during that week, they can only fit so many people during the day.
Yep. And it's a beautiful spot where they're doing that super close to
it is a very beautiful spot. They put a very nice cabin up on the water and
it's gorgeous.
I
just
want to camp there.
Is bring money for swag because they have Ask Kelly We were victims of the
I
Bronco
wasn't gonna
rodeo
buy
store,
anything, and
so
I ended up spending like $150 on stuff.
God
Well,
awful
don't look
hat.
at Donna over here.
I
She's
was about to
even
say,
got
I
her.
saw Donna's bag.
God awful hat that you bought me.
You stop it.
Well, but it's great that it's great that they're taking these 6G Bronco people out there and showing them the great things that are usable in the Bronco and how to use them. I mean, it's a fantastic little day of fun.
Mhm.
If you get a new Bronco, I recommend you go to any of them. But
Yeah,
Sean,
and don't think that you can't do it.
yeah, Sean Ryan here. Can't wait. This will be our first supercell. Hey,
Awesome.
it's awesome. Watch all the videos. I mean, not even ours, but everybody posts a bunch of videos every
Mhm.
year, and then add about 20 to 30% fun because each year it just keeps getting better and better and
Yes.
better. And I'm excited. Our friends I know with IAG will probably be there. Mountains to
Yeah, they
Metal.
were talking that they'll have a bunch of stuff there.
Yeah,
I think
and
Diabolical's going to be there.
and we have a new Bronco that probably get a bunch of parts from there. So I gotta make you guys buy a shirt, whatever I have there. Please buy something so I can buy something from some other vendors.
I'm not gonna lie. My Bronco will probably be in IAG's booth for a day. So
Yeah.
It's the circle of life, guys. Come on,
For sure.
Tom
kind of-
starts this and it just ends with Tom. So let's somehow keep it going.
hey, I just set the gate. I set the date and open the gate, and then hold on for dear life.
That's it.
Well, there you go. So Tom, once again, what is the date on this event?
April 23rd to the 27th.
I think it's Rob's birthday during the week of Supercell, and I'm using it as my excuse for my birthday because my birthday's on the 29th.
Well,
nice.
you know what that means. There's probably a special cup with your name on it. So
There we go.
So there you go. Rob, come see us and we'll talk Broncos. Stop lubricating Broncos. So there you go, guys. Here's the date once again. Go over. We're going to talk about. You'll hear this, even though this is not just Bronco talk anymore. We're going to talk about this a lot because it's it's family to us. We really have a good time with this, and it's done right. And I have to say, it's a family event. It definitely is. Don't feel
100%. Well, because there's even like kids events.
yes.
Like there's things for kids. So like if you guys are questioning it, like don't bring the kids. It's fantastic. There's food trucks. There's plenty of things to keep them busy.
There
Hey,
are
it's my birthday.
There's an RC course.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. Our daughter is super, super, super sad that she doesn't ever get to come because it's always during Tennessee testing here in Tennessee. It's the state test and they can't miss it. And now she's on her high school softball team. So she really can't miss school. So she's like heartbroken every year when we go and leave her behind because she knows that she'd have an amazing time too.
And we didn't even talk about, Allie, year 2 of the sticker patch swap.
Yes. There was a question about that too.
I'm doing it.
Do you have a time frame on that yet?
It is. I do have a time frame. It's high noon again on Saturday, and it's in the schedule, but we have not determined what booth or where the trading will be.
It can happen at our booth. I'm just saying.
You can have it at ATN.
There you go. We got the All Trade Nation can have the Broncos sticker change at high noon on Saturday. I thought that was a good time. It worked well.
Good times.
Yeah. Yeah, and it keeps everyone like near for like the awards and stuff too.
Yeah, and a little nuance this year. We're going to try something different. Instead of trying to judge 650 Broncos, we are doing what's called Battle of the Broncos on Saturday. So if you want to be involved in judging or putting your vehicle on a show, we're going to have a special section Saturday, Battle of the Broncos, and that's going to be the only time that you'll have to have them washed up and cleaned up for.
Can I add one thing to that? Can we do a dirtiest Bronco? I wouldn't mind sponsoring that part of this of donating something nice for the raffle.
Well, I really don't want to see when you say dirtiest Bronco. I really don't want to see. No. Oh, you're talking about mud.
Mud.
All right, as long as we're clear on that.
Yes.
Good call, Tom.
Yeah.
I mean, questionable.
They, the funny thing about judging is we really didn't take off for a little bit of dirt because that means you used it. There's nothing worse than having somebody pull it out of an enclosed trailer under an enclosed tent, wipe it off with a diaper. Somebody walks by. That's for the other car shows.
Or the storm.
Yeah.
This is not a show. This is a Bronco experience.
Yeah. Or the storm comes through and my tent ends up in somebody's Bronco.
I had to get a whole
It didn't hit
dumpster.
the Bronco.
Do what, Tom?
I had to get a whole dumpster that Monday just for.
I really
For
felt
tents.
bad. I really felt bad.
That Friday night was crazy.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, 2 years ago, a storm come through. And as everybody does, they bring their tents down. They're in ground. I put little big
We had
nails in this
20 to 40 pounds on every corner.
Oh yeah, yeah. We did too. We lost a tent even, but
Crazy.
It was a whole dumpster. I had to bring in a special dumpster on Monday just for tents because they were just, I forget how many we had. It was nuts.
That's crazy.
Well, Ford Video Guy with Long MacArthur, he said he will be there, so
Yay!
definitely come check him out. I bet he would sign some autographs. I bet he would. I bet we can make him feel real special.
Make a booth, schedule time for him to come.
You know what we need, Kelly? We need to go to, well, there's no Sears anymore. We need to find an Owen Mills or whatever and get some goofy photos made so we can sign some autographs in the dumbest 80s looking photos of possible.
Just go through Gatlinburg. They have the old time photoshops. You can really look classic.
I did that when I was 16, and funny stories. I sent that picture to my mom, and I said, "Mom, I got married to my high school boyfriend." She's like, "You better not have," because of course I was from Michigan, and so she just thought everything in Tennessee is backwoods that you could get married at 16.
That's how we operate here.
So she just thought that it was true, and I was like, "Please, come on." But I still have that old timey photo.
There you go. Post that.
I don't know. We can't get copies quick enough, though.
I know, but if we had an old horse behind us, come Bronco.
Oh my
Anyways,
gosh.
that's we'll figure this out. So Tom, we appreciate you being on here. There's no easy way to do this, sir. So I'm going to kick you out of the room.
Kick me out of here. We'll chat again, and we'll see you guys.
Yes.
Bye, Donna.
Bye, Donna.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
There you go. I'm more pumped than ever. Like normally you two get kind of pumped about this. I'm just kind of like, yeah, it's coming. So we have the Chicago Auto Show coming up, which I'm really excited for that because I think we're going to get to see. I have a feeling the previews we're going to start seeing some hints of what the new Jeep Wranglers are going to look like. Yeah, that's coming up. But anytime with the Bronco family is a good time, and I cannot wait to do that. Let's see. Yeah, of course, Tim, you are welcome at my booth anytime.
No, but what he's saying, I think he's saying we need to plan it.
Yes.
Well, so let me put it in a planning.
We're going to email you, Tim, and we'll figure that one out. Yeah, see, dirtiest Bronco. I'm telling you, I'm good with ideas. I see Tom writing things down.
I will say, like, it's getting so crazy with the amount of Broncos they have to judge. So I'm glad they're doing it on a Saturday.
Yeah, because what you had to have your hood up. I never understood how it was done, and I wouldn't want to be a part of that. These guys are working their asses off as is, and then to go, oh yeah, we got to figure out who's.
Oh yeah, like not even to mention like everything leading up. Like I've been texting Tom since November about like Supercell stuff. Like this is their life. Like it's nonstop with these events, and it's just I think it's so cool to see everyone come together. And I get the sads in the worst way, like leaving this event, because it's like you're surrounded by the best people. Like it's so fun. Like, and I only get to see some of these people only like once or twice a year.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's bad? When we did our event, we were so emotionally tied to it. At the end of the event, I would leave and I'd probably shed a tear or two leaving because I was like, for one, the emotional of like what little we did compared to what Dom did. Done. But then you're saying, Allie, you're sad. You're like, crap, man, I'm not going to see all my friends again for another year.
Well, and then for the week when you go back to work, you're like, so you're still on that like high of like so excited, and you try to tell people how cool it is, and they're just like,
they tune you out because they don't get it.
And then you're just like, where are my people? I want my people back.
The Bronco people get it. Well, like, and especially after like the last, like, which is crazy. It's been almost like a year and a half with like all of Maya's stuff. Like just with the support and the love and just like everything with her. It's like when everyone gets to like see her and like make her. So first off, my dog like is so tired. I have to check to see if she's breathing. Because of how many people like go and give her love and attention and just.
Well, I remember last year there were people going to your Bronco. They were going to your Bronco to see the dog.
Yeah. People don't give two shits about me.
Yeah, Allie's a big deal, but she's no dog. I mean, geez.
Yeah, like it's literally like there were so many times. So like my mom will watch Maya, and I don't know if she's coming this year or not, but like people were just like opening the door to my Bronco.
Yeah.
because they knew, and like nobody knows what my Bronco looks like. I mean, they know
Not
the
now.
color, but like I haven't really done anything to it. So unless you look for the license plate, like there's so many.
Well, you
times
just
my mom-
gave everybody the answer on how to find your Bronco. Way
they
to go,
all knew
Allie.
my license plate.
I know, but you just gave them the easy answer.
Here's the thing: is if you see Allie's Bronco, grab a handful of ducks from your Jeep,
Oh,
buddy, and
don't.
just put ducks all over Allie's
Don't do it.
Bronco.
I'll kill everybody.
She has a disdain in her face right now.
No.
I have to say this real
As I
quick
say.
before we get too far. You guys know earlier in the show I asked if you wanted to donate to the show, just do memberships. Just donate memberships. I think it's fun. It's a fun way to do it, and it gives new people an inside of what we do behind the scenes
Of what membership looks like.
Yeah. So, but first off, Anna Smith came in with the big 2025.
So you don't know what the strawberry reference is, do
I'm
you?
assuming something about your.
Yeah, so our daughter's softball team is selling strawberries, and I had posted earlier today on my Facebook, is like, anybody local? And Anna says, do you deliver? And I said, if I was going to be in your area,
Depends on how many strawberries you buy.
well, that is true. If I was going to be up in that area, I would definitely deliver.
I'd have to have a bourbon with Honest anyway.
For sure. So that's what he's like posting, got strawberries. So
that's hilarious.
Hilarious.
And then Hypermotive Racing came in with gifted 5 All-Terrain Nation memberships. So
thank you.
So thank you for that. That means a lot to us. Mark King, once again, he wasn't going to be outdone. He donated five memberships, which we appreciate, because that's like $25 or something.
God,
I think it's 5.
one upper.
Yeah. So then, not to be outdone,
Mr. Steve P had to come in and give
10 memberships. So we greatly appreciate that. And then we got Randy Russell coming in here with the $9.99. We greatly appreciate that. And then look at this. Part of your membership.
Oh, wait, there's more.
That's right.
Yes.
Part of your membership is you get every month, I think you get like a free little kind of like super chattish
like
thing.
A super shout out.
And Ford Enthusiast has been a member for 4 months. We greatly appreciate that.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah. And so we appreciate you guys supporting us like this. 25 bigger than ever for us. We're pushing hard in 25.
And that's why you see the new channel coming out and stuff like that, because we really want to give it a good go this year and give you lots of great content and show you kind of what life really kind of looks like on our side of the world.
And if you're just joining in and you're like, hey, I don't have a Bronco, that's fine. This is the channel's for everybody, including Jeep people. We've done the Jeep invasion and probably do it again.
We used to have a Gladiator. We've had a Jeep.
Yep. So, but the Bronco seems to be our family. So, for now,
family.
Till Jeep comes out with something really cool. I'm playing, of course.
No, Scout is
Ellie's
down
like,
the road.
no.
We do have a Scout on order. Yes, we do have a Scout on order. But we're gonna have to pin that against. That's gonna be a fun drag race between that and the Raptor, right?
Yep.
And the extra ponies that we have. So, Allie, you
interesting.
said you're in a blizzard up there. So I'm assuming you're. Hey, I want to go home, get out of this crap. Us stupid rednecks in Tennessee, when it snows, we're like, hey, we got to get out in this crap.
Can we take the top off and run down the road while it snows?
Yeah.
Which we didn't get done this trip. But
normally, yes. Normally in a snowstorm, we take the roof off the Broncos and drive around like idiots.
But word on the street is we're supposed to get something in like, what's today? The 13th. So I think
I heard something around the 20th.
Yeah. So about a week from now is when we're supposed to get hit again. And there will be driving in the snow.
Our tops are coming off.
He got yelled at for leaving.
Keep your top on.
Right.
Well, I didn't say physically, these shirts.
He got yelled at for taking off and coming back after it was done snowing, because some of us had to work.
She had FOMO. She didn't go. I got to do donuts. If you guys haven't watched the new video, go do a few donuts in the new Raptor. Had a lot of fun. Allie, have you got to drive the Raptor with the tune just yet?
No.
Oh my God, it's so much fun.
A little bit on yours.
Oh yeah, you did. You drove it over to off rodeo.
Oh, that's right. But you didn't get in. You didn't get.
But we didn't get to get into it really.
No, there's a little bit of trap. It wasn't my car. I was a little nervous.
No, my cars are everybody's cars. If I give you the keys, and I see that you guys have 5 Raptors right now, trying to get rid of, right?
Plethora of $9,000 in rebates and AXZD plan.
Nice. These are finally Raptors are getting probably where they should have been priced to begin with. But,
After we just bought one.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on that.
Yeah, let's not. Yeah, we'll be done now.
Because
But
I
so if you're
have
looking
an
for one,
opinion on that.
if
but-
you're looking for one, part of the fun of us buying from Allie, we're in Nashville. Allie's in Michigan. The trip is part of the fun.
Yeah, we get to go visit my family a little bit, and then
we'll make it super easy for you. Just
Well, I'm not
buy
saying
it.
everybody can go visit your family.
Oh, there's that.
I
Sorry.
bet your mom would love that.
I thought
though.
you were talking about our experience.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think your mom would love it.
My mom would probably love
we probably
it.
could find you an Airbnb room for the night.
Probably could. Probably could.
Yeah. And Miss Laura in the chat there got in trouble driving, and she got pulled over driving our
And she
Raptor.
lives in such a small town. They all knew that it was her driving it because she posted on socials.
I think
That's
that
all
was
I'm
the
gonna say.
funniest part.
Yes.
What
Oh,
the-
hypermotive racing. Don't think my mother wouldn't love somebody showing up at midnight.
oh,
Like,
yes.
she would be like, "Yes, please come in."
To be a part of all this, she would.
Yes.
She would
Like
definitely.
you're
love
friends
it.
with Dave and Kelly?
Yeah. She actually texted me on Friday and was like, "You're missing the Detroit Auto Show." And I said, "Yeah, no, we knew about it.
How was
the
that,
schedule
Allie?
just didn't work out for us."
You were at one of the Ford events. How was the show
Yeah.
this year compared to what it's been?
It's smaller than what it's been. I mean, I think since it's coming back to Detroit in the winter, I think it will gain traction again. Because
Yeah.
the thing is, like, it got so slow, and then COVID hit, and then we haven't had it really for years,
Yeah.
and so everyone pulled out of it. So it's like no one has the marketing funding that they want. And let's be honest, the auto industry right now is just kind of a disaster-ish.
And we're
Like,
supposed to get the interest rates are supposed to go down again.
let you know how that goes.
Well, let's hope it spurs some sales.
Because we were told they dropped a quarter like a while ago, and we've barely seen it. So
You haven't seen it
Well, I
yet?
read something in Auto News today that they said it dropped a whole point now, and it's supposed to go another half point.
I don't know. It can keep dropping because then I'll refinance.
Damn right. The Raptor going to get a little cheaper.
Oh,
I keep telling. I mean, people. That's the thing. I think it's the same with like houses. Like, find the car you want, just refinance it. Like, just
Yep.
try to pay extra if you can. Like, it's really unfortunate the rates that we're dealing with right now.
I don't think for our house we'll ever find a rate this cheap.
No, we're at like a 2.6.
Yeah, I was at like 2.9 before I moved. So
Yeah.
Hey, nobody told you to move though.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, but I love living next to the.
I was
Oh,
going
I'm
to say,
sure.
but you're in a great
Well,
spot though.
I was
So,
gonna say the fact that I get to like just walk next door to my cousin's house, like
Right?
nothing beat like I get to go hang out with the two little kiddos. They're 1.5 now, and like they're finally to the point where they're recognizing people. So like I'll walk in the door and Aubrey will like run to me, and they don't say a ton yet. It's like mama, dada, hi, and bye.
Yeah.
But instead of like Aubrey saying like bye bye or anything, it's bye. And she's like so sassy about it. And I like look at my cousin and I'm like, you're screwed.
Yep. You're in trouble.
Like, you're done. So
Well,
it's
one last
fun.
note. Last week I was talking about Nissan, and Nissan come out this week, and they one of the head of PR kind of has a nice little FU to the people talking shit about them.
Yeah.
And I thought this was nice. It's on our Instagram. I know it's hard to read on the screen here, but they basically just said, "Hey, no, we're not down and out, man. Like,
Yeah, don't count us out yet. We've
yeah,
come back before.
they're in a moment, yeah,
Yeah.
But I thought this was something interesting to me because I'm sure you got to see it when I posted it. You seen
Yeah, I
because it
read
was
it.
getting a lot of traction.
Mhm.
It was interesting to me to see this, that normally manufacturers don't talk about when they're having problems.
Yeah.
You hide from it. No, we don't talk about that. We only talk about future. This was a good move, I thought, on Nissan's part.
Well, and I agree because I think it was a smart move because everybody, in essentially what they're saying here is you don't count us out because we're still here. We've bounced back
Yep.
before, and you will see us. We are not gone.
Yep.
So I think that this one is probably a little different than what we would typically see because it's been so public with
Yeah.
the merge with Honda potentially and all
Well,
these things.
Allison Witherspoon, who is head of their communications, she wrote on her LinkedIn today that she was just, I don't know how to handle this. She goes, I'm pissed off. Like, there's journalists that live off of Nissan. Like
Mhm.
there's in my industry, there's certain manufacturers you can get hooked up with, and you can make a good living just basically them shuttling you around to events,
Yeah, going
paying
to
for
different trips.
everything. And I think she'd had enough of these people suddenly talking shit about them. And then they did this little draft, which I thought was very nice to see the company do. And I hope to see more companies kind of put their foot down a little bit. There's obviously media, we're part of it. We're
Put Dave in place is what he's saying.
no,
Just kidding.
no,
Just
but there's a
kidding.
lot of people who have a voice now.
Yeah.
And sometimes they make money off just being purely negative.
Mhm.
And I think this is kind of an FU to that of like, hey, you know what? We're because this was aimed at journalists.
Yeah.
Not this particular part, but what she had wrote today on her LinkedIn.
Mhm.
It was worth a good read. And if you're on LinkedIn, go check her out, man. She's Nissan, I think she's vice president of communications, something like that. Sharp lady.
I haven't read it. I'll have to go read it.
But that's about all the news we have today. There wasn't a ton out there today, but Tom got all the attention as he deserves.
Yes.
And how far?
And our viewers dropped off by like 17 people after Tom left.
I know. Great, Tom. Thanks. Take all the people with you. How many days? Do we know how many days we have left?
I have no idea. Do you know, Allie? Do you have a countdown for
No,
Supercell?
but I can look it up really quick.
We have this thing called the internet. Look at her.
Right? A calendar calculator on how many days.
Maybe not.
I can do
Anyways,
it. It's okay. I can do it real quick. Give me a second.
All right, Kelly's
I
gonna
just
do
got a new wireless mouse and keyboard. See, I got a cute little new mouse.
Yeah.
I got a cute little new keyboard.
Oh, that's why I heard it. It was very loud. Big buttons. You gotta have them big tactical buttons, though.
I do.
That.
They're like this very bougie and girly right now.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, Allie, where's Michigan in the national championship?
We're probably
they're not there. They're not there. Oh,
We're
sorry.
probably not there.
No, I know they're not there because
I
it's
actually
Ohio State versus Notre Dame.
100 days. We're right at 100 days.
I actually just sold the new quarterback, and he coaches like two positions. I actually just sold him a truck.
Nice.
His name is Chip, and he is the nicest guy.
That's awesome. Did he buy a Lions one?
He did not. He got a Lariat F-150.
I know it's Michigan. I'm well aware. I was just
but at the Ford event, Jared Goff crashed it, and we all freaked out.
I know. I saw your post about it. You're like, Jared Goff.
Well, it was so funny because I was like sitting there, and all of a sudden, like all the cars came out, and it was like a mock-up of like coming through the tunnel like football players, just because Lions are so big right now.
Yeah. And
they all had one person in it. And then the Lions truck came out, and there was two, and I saw a guy, and I'm looking, and I'm like, no way. I'm like, they didn't do that. So I thought it was just going to be like a Ford announcer, and as soon as they said like Jared Goff, I'm like, holy shit, it's actually him. So he took like 3 or 4 pictures, and they had him out of there so fast, along with Farley and Bill.
That's funny.
So it's fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So whether it be 2-wheel drive,
4-wheel drive,
Allie, I hate. No, she's going to say what it matters if you drive, but it really doesn't
and
matter.
then
What
it's
you drive.
Bronco.
That's right. This has been Bronco Talk tonight.
Yeah.
Presented by Dave, Kelly, and Allie, and we are out. Peace, everybody. See y'all next week.
Bye.
Oh, hey, subscribe to the new channels. Peace.